Hey, what's up guys, and welcome back to another video on the channel. We have got more updates as always on Kylian Mbappé. I don't think anyone is surprised by this point, but it's actually been very quiet for the past couple of days. There really hasn't been much update because realistically, the only update that is going to be crucial to this deal is when/if Real Madrid make an offer and submit their bid into PSG. But as we've talked about before, could it be a insulting bid? Could it be a bid that is quite late on into August? Who knows? I mean, we're at the start of August already. We're 4 days in. You know, are we gonna have to wait for another 2 weeks, 3 weeks maybe, for a deal to finally, take place? And are PSG actually gonna accept it, or are they gonna put him on the bench for the next season? There's so much that could, happen in the next month. That this deal is not over yet, even though it's been a very quiet situation as of now. But let's get into what we at least have. Now, I'm recording this very early for my usual standards, so I might make another video for a follow-up, or if more news come out later on. But here it is from Fabrizio Romano. Kylian Mbappé case is up to Real Madrid. Everyone is waiting for Real Madrid to make their move. Not surprising, we know that, we've heard that before. But this is what I found interesting. Now, this isn't actually much to do with Real Madrid. It's more to do with the drama and the situation that PSG have gotten themselves into about Mbappé. So, we all know who Luís Campos is. Obviously, director, of the club, and he's a smart man. The signings that he has been involved in has been pretty good, and his track record in the past has been good as well. But apparently he could be moving away from Paris, and here's why. From Le Parisien, Luís Campos is getting closer to a PSG exit. Some hold him responsible for the failure of Kylian Mbappe's non-extension. Campos was also not in favor of excluding Mbappe for the tour in Japan, but he had to comply with the decision. I find that very interesting because I don't actually think you can blame him for the failure of Mbappe not wanting to sign a new contract. Like, it's PSG, it's the club, it's Aklaifi, it's Leonardo, it's everyone. And I know Leonardo has since left, but it's everyone who is and were part of this PSG board members and part of the club members. It's everyone, not Luís Campos. Like, what do you want the man to do? Like, do you want him to just threaten Mbappe to sign? Like, I think that PSG are doing it again rather than find, themselves, responsible. They're finding a scapegoat. They're finding someone to hold the responsibility for their own mistakes. And if PSG want to do that, feel free. But if someone like Luís Campos is going, I think it would really affect PSG as a club. Because he is, like I said, a very smart man, and I really like him. So, let's see what's gonna happen. I think it's interesting, this piece of news. We've also had more actually. Nasser Al-Khelaifi wanted Luís Campos to put pressure on the Mbappe clan to push them. Campos was very measured in his response. Nasser became angry and asked Campos, "Do you work for us or Mbappe's entourage?" from RMC Sports. I mean, wow. Again, some people would argue that, oh, it's his job. Okay, maybe, but it's not Campos' fault that PSG gave Mbappe all those loyalty bonuses. It's not his fault that PSG thought they were going to sign Mbappé to 2025, but it was actually just an optional extra 1 year that Mbappé could trigger if he wants. So don't be putting everything on someone like Luís Campos just because, you know what, Mbappé is gonna go, and let's just find someone at the club as a scapegoat. I mean, nah. I mean, if Real Madrid did that, I would be saying the same thing. It's not whether it's PSG, it's Real Madrid, it's Barcelona. It doesn't matter. If you are a sensible club and you are one of the biggest clubs in the world, you don't do such stuff, and it shows the level that PSG are at, and it just sums it up by itself, really. Um, we also have this from L'Equipe. PSG believe Campos should be at the front of the queue to unlock the crucial Mbappe foul, as he chose to his clan. Instead, he is retreating within the foul. Again, what is he meant to do now? Like, the decision has already been made by Mbappe. There's nothing anyone can do to make Mbappe change his mind. So, look, this is just getting worse, isn't it? It's just getting worse and worse. But there's also this that kind of dismisses what we've heard. But it could just be PSG, trying to cover up for themselves. Because, look, PSG are not going to come up publicly now and say, you know what, we want to get rid of, Luís Campos or our current manager, Luis Enrique. They're not going to do that, right? But, obviously, let's read this from Fabrizio Romano. Paris Saint-Germain spokesperson tells me on Luis Enrique considering to leave PSG. Today's rumors are as ridiculous as they are completely out of place. Look, I don't think Luis Enrique will leave PSG. He's just joined. So that's actually too far. That's too far. Enrique, I think, is too far. I think he will stay. There's no way he's leaving after 1 month into his job. So he's staying. But on Luís Campos, I think there's a possibility. But let's continue reading this, shall we? Paris Saint-Germain are dismissing as complete nonsense stories on both Luis Enrique and Luís Campos leaving. Luis Enrique, I think, is a complete nonsense, but Luís Campos, I think there is a possibility based on sources from Le Parisien, L'Equipe, IMC Sport. There's so many outlets coming out, and maybe they are not the most reliable, and maybe you should take it with a pinch of salt. But I think for so many different sources to come up with the same idea, I think it tells you all you need to know. But I'm gonna end off with one final bit. Now, obviously, yesterday / actually 2 days ago now, isn't it? Wait, is it 2 days ago? It might have been, but I think it's yesterday when you guys are watching this. The team will return to training at Valdebebas tomorrow to prepare for the match against Athletic Bilbao in the first match day of La Liga. So straight after the Juventus game, they flew back to Madrid, Spain, and they've landed. They're already back in Spain, and obviously they will train tomorrow because it's like 8 days away, isn't it? Like 9 days away. Yeah, it's the 4th today when I'm recording this. La Liga's on the 13th for May. Maybe it's the 12th actually. So it's about 8 days to go until La Liga starts again. So about a week. You have 1 week to train and prepare for La Liga. So we'll get back straight into business. Overall, for me, I'm just gonna add this because I didn't really add this when I did my review between Juve and Real Madrid. The preseason tour for me has been a pretty good one in my opinion. I think, look, I'm not gonna say it's a very good one because we lost 2 games, and we conceded 8 goals, and we won basically 1 game that was not convincing, and maybe the other you could say it was, but not really in my opinion. So overall, we had 4 games that weren't necessarily convincing. 2 losses, 2 wins, 1 not necessarily convincing. But let's not talk about the result because the performance hasn't been great defensively. But if Real Madrid can work on it and improve before the start of the season, I think this team has potential. I do think that going forward, Vini Jr. looks great. Jude Bellingham has been great. Rodrigo, obviously we know his qualities. Fede Valverde could be a crucial player. yes, we still need a striker, but Jose Lu got a good goal against Manchester United. I don't think you can, say, oh, let's just make him the main striker then. Like, he's not. Uh, you know, I don't think he's good enough to be the first teamer. But we still need a striker, of course. But based on what we have to work with right now, based on what Ancelotti has to work with right now, it's pretty decent. It's pretty decent. So, you know what? Let's see what we can do against Bilbao. I think that you want to get off to a very good start, because last season, in fact, we got off to a very, very good start. We won like every game, didn't we, for the start of the season? In fact, let me have a look at my videos last year. Because I remember that we won against Almeria to start off the La Liga campaign. Let me go over. Yeah, pre-season we did pretty poorly. I'm gonna be honest. Like, we lost against Barca last season. We drew Club America. We beat Juve. To be fair, we won the Super Cup, but it doesn't really apply this season. But I look at the first few La Liga games. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 wins in La Liga in a row, and that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 wins for the start of the season before we drew Osasuna. So we won 6 out of 6 in the first 6 La Liga games. So even though we didn't have a particularly good preseason last year, we started kind of strong. So if we can, replicate that strong start, but not fall off like we did against Osasuna, and then what we did against Girona, Rayo Vallecano, before the start of the World Cup. If we can keep ourselves in a good position with Barcelona, right on our tail, both teams going at it, by the time we play Barcelona, you would be almost both teams are at the top, and both teams, that game will be the deciding on who goes top. So we need to get off to a good start against Bilbao, because if you don't win your first game, you draw or even lose, that is a very, very bad start, and it's hard to get back into the good form. So it's all about making that good start, and let's hope we can do it. But I hope you guys have enjoyed today's video. Let me know your thoughts down below. Hit the like button if you did enjoy today's video. Subscribe to ensure it's on already, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.